So have you ever stayed in an Airbnb?
No, I've looked up some Airbnbs, but I've never gone to one. But I've, been in, let's say I want to go to Charleston for the weekend. I look up and see what's available. But I've never went to that extra length and got one.
And actually go. I've been to several Airbnbs. And what's funny is I've been to Airbnbs in like areas that I'm just going, like I went to someone's graduation, but it was like a weekend thing. So I just got an Airbnb for the weekend instead of a hotel. When I went to take my dog up to Cornell to be jerked off, I stayed in an Airbnb with my whole other story for another day. But we stayed in an Airbnb. I went with my two best friends and we stayed. It was the four of us. And I had to make sure, because hotels don't usually accept animals. So I had to go someplace where they allowed dogs, because we were up there for the dog. So it had to be dog friendly. And a lot of Airbnbs are. Let's
backtrack and say you were freezing your dog's hoochie stuff. You just weren't taking the dog to get jerked off.
That does sound. Yeah, I have a rare breed dog. There's an animal husbandry program at Cornell, and they paid us to bring the dog up there and paid for his sperm because there are certain diseases that have been bred out of this breed. So his sperm has value in that animal husband, and they can study it also. That's part of it also. It's a research. It's an animal husbandry research program at
taking
Cornell.
Your dog to a college to get jerked off doesn't sound like
a regular weekend at college. We all got wasted and the dog had fun. Yeah, it does sound
the
awful.
The dog loved it though. By the way, the dog hated going in cars before that. Everything. Now he thinks all car rides end with that.
And with a happy ending. It's kind of car ride and a happy ending. Thank you.
Kind of like every guy that used to date Cooper. Every car ride would end with that.
Well, that was the thing with my friends. It was like I had one girlfriend who liked to do the lollipop thing. I had another friend that always had sex with them. I always just gave him a hand job. I gave them a hand is how I should put it. So it was like, thank you for dinner. Let me give you a hand. My other girlfriends, thank you for dinner. Pull down your pants. Everyone had their thing. Like that was our big joke, my friends and I, when we were single and wild. But anyway, so
Airbnb.
We stayed in an Airbnb there. I've stayed in many Airbnbs. I love them. I think they're great when you find like a good one, like at the beach or whatever, out in the Hamptons. Like you can find some really nice ones. Actually, my favorite Airbnb was off season. We stayed at a house in East Hampton. It was super cheap because it was off season. It was like the middle of winter. It was for Thanksgiving. My whole family went out there and we took a house in East Hampton and had Thanksgiving dinner and Thanksgiving out there. It was so much fun and it was super cheap. It would have been cheaper. Would have been so much more money had we stayed in a hotel, all of us for the week. We just rented this house. We just Airbnb'd this house and it was just beautiful. It was amazing. We had so much fun. So Airbnb, every once in a while, you get a story that's kind of a nightmare story. And there's a story today that's trending. If you Google Airbnb and Kevin, there's a dude named Kevin who I guess either forgot he was Airbnb-ing his house or it wasn't his house and he showed up there very drunk. But you're supposed to, the whole idea with Airbnb, especially now during COVID, the house has to be pristine, spotless. And also you pay ahead. So it's already paid for. When you show up, it is paid for the week. You don't have to worry about anything else. It's done. These people showed up to their Airbnb and they came in contact with Kevin.
I'll make it right for you.
So there's a guy sitting on a couch with no shirt on, watching TV, and he's very drunk.
And you're supposed to be gone by now because we've rented this room.
Right. We've rented your house. You're not supposed to live here right now. You should fast forward a little bit so we should get to the confrontation with Kevin because it's a little more interesting.
Oh, does Kevin get worse?
Yeah. So if you move it, they go in and they kind of talk to Kevin. They confront Kevin.
And Kevin's still very drunk right now.
Because this is the inconvenience.
Honestly, you can take. We just flew across country to come here.
Yeah, like
we flew across the country to stay in your home.
A bad day.
Yeah. What's wrong?
It's not
what do you want?
We would like the place clean so we could stay here.
What do you rock stars want?
What do you rock stars want? He's okay. So Kevin
Okay,
is
I'll
very
sit
drunk.
over here.
He's very drunk. He only has one sock
Would you
on.
mind canceling our reservation? So
No
we can go ahead
shirt.
and find an appropriate place.
You're going to get
I mean-
1 star,
Yeah,
Kevin.
yeah.
absolutely out of your mind if you don't do that.
You say we absolutely out of minds to not do what?
Well, this is the best place R&B.
Well, we thought so,
Yeah,
but
we thought so.
we thought we would walk
But
into a professional
A professional
environment.
environment, but Kevin obviously isn't professional right now.
Hey, I'm giving you guys free rent.
We
No.
we're not
What?
So
No.
he just
Oh,
Kevin just said to them, "I'll comp you."
We're not asking for
Okay,
anything
what are we
free.
doing here?
Yeah,
We're not asking for
He's like, "Listen, let me just stay.
We
You
just
can
want
stay
to
also, and
in
I'll
the
comp
Airbnb,
you."
That's all.
I'll just sit
We don't
on
want to
this
inconvenience
couch.
you, but we've already paid for this time. We were also 2 hours late. So we were just hoping that we would walk into a clean place that we've already paid for.
Okay, well, so what's the problem?
The problem is that you're here. You're here, and we
So
already
what's
paid
the problem?
So what's the problem?
I don't see what the problem is. You paid for it. It's clean. Here, it's a very nice place. Go ahead. There's a bedroom upstairs. Enjoy
Oh,
yourself.
Poor Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kevin is very drunk, and either he forgot that he Airbnb'd the place, or Kevin is mentally ill, or I mean, he's very drunk. He only has the one sock on. He's like, I don't see what the problem is. And then he says that he'll comp them.
Do you pay for the place in full before you even show up?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
What do you mean?
Because
It's-
what happens if the place is a complete dump?
then Airbnb will comp you. Then you take pictures. This has happened before. Like I've showed up for some place that was actually, there's one place in particular I showed up. It was supposed to be spotless and the kitchen was a mess. So and the refrigerator was full, and I was told that we can use the kitchen and the refrigerator. So I took pictures of it and sent it to Airbnb, and they actually ended up comping us half our stay to compensate for the fact that we didn't have use of the kitchen, even though we were promised use of the kitchen.
But you already pay. I don't like that at all. So that's because if I stay at a hotel and I don't like it, then I don't have to pay.
No, it's the same thing here. So you pay up front, because think of it from the perspective of the person renting their home. Airbnb always errs on the side of the host. Okay. So let's say I decide I want to rent out my apartment for a week and I want to Airbnb it. I mean, it's illegal in New York City, but let's say it's not. Okay.
Mhm.
And I want $200 a night, and somebody shows up and they're like, I'll stay 2 nights. No, you promised me 7. No, I'm just only going to stay 2 nights. Well, I could have rented it for the other 5 nights. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it makes people responsible that they have to show up and they have to do their side of the contract.
I just don't like spending money.
Right.
That's my problem.
That's why you looked at Airbnbs. You never actually pulled the trigger and went to one.
That is a good point. Because I
Right.
looked and I said, no, too expensive. I'll try something else.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some Airbnb horror stories, but the fact that this one is trending today with this poor couple flying across the country and showing up, and there's Kevin on the couch.